Lucretia.
And my name is Shaquita,
And welcome to Searching for Freedom.
Guys, it is another Friday, so thank you for spending it with us. We truly
Appreciate it.
appreciate the love and support. Today, just going through different topics. Y'all know, as I stated, we come with the topics, right? Okay. And today we just wanted to talk about our kids. I have a son, and Brisha has a son. And I know we find it difficult to um, raise them to be a man in society, a black man, at that in society. And so we just want to come on here and share our hearts in that area.
So many situations that we are learning how to raise our young black men in this society and trying to lean on God's discernment, His wisdom, His love to help us do that, because there's so many different things that are against our black men, and it's just like we are responsible for raising them up the way they're supposed to go. And it can be trying. Just like even things like, okay, my son doesn't fully get to be a kid because although he is young, I have to sit down with my son and talk to him about shootings and how he should carry himself and how he needs to uphold himself, and similar things with just how their emotions are. So we kind of just want to talk more about that and what it's looked like raising a black man.
And if I can be honest, I would say, would I say hard? I wouldn't say hard. I would say it's trying. There's no manual for it, but I know when I turn on the news or when I turn on, or I'm involved in certain conversations, I'm learning that I'm the parent that I teach my son to focus on the heart, not on racism or not being good enough, or I'll say, well, Marcus, it's not really the person, it's their heart, right? But then I have conversations with my friend, with you, and you're like, well, no, you got to teach him more than that, because it's not just about if you don't teach him what's really going out here in the world,
is going to teach him.
The world is going to teach him. So it's like you teach him. And I think for me, it hurts me so much to, like, why do I have to have this conversation with my son? Why do I have to have this police conversation with my son? Why do I have to have this conversation with my son about his skin?
It's painful. Like, it's really painful to have those conversations where it's like, I have to talk to my son about how, yes, we need to respect officers. Yes, we need to see them as someone who is there to help, but also you need to protect yourself as well, because you never know. Like, there are situations where it's like, baby boy, there are kids that are your age that are not making it home to their parents just because of the color of their skin. So you have to know how to carry yourself. Like, we don't get the luxury that another race may have with just simply being a child, or even playing with simple things like the dart guns outside or water guns outside. And I remember for the longest, I wouldn't even let my son get one of those little dart guns. It was you who finally got him that like a year or two ago, and I was just like, okay, I gotta chill a little bit. But it's just like having to even have that conversation with your son where it's like, listen, baby, like, because of the color of your skin, like, you may be perceived differently, and you have to carry yourself differently.
Right. And also the emotions of a young black male. And I know they say women, you are the nurturers, and it's the men who are the providers. And I'm a single mom. Yes, his dad is in his life, but there's no male in the home. And so it's me who is the really the main, the guardian. I'm the one who's
primary.
the primary guardian. So I'm the one who's training him up in the way that he should go. So when he's older, he won't depart from it. And one of the main things that I've been working on is his communication and his emotions, because I'm gonna be honest, I've dated guys, or I've been in a relationship with guys who couldn't communicate themselves, and they held everything in. So it's like, no, I want to raise my son up to be able to communicate what he's thinking, how he feels, if it made him angry, if it made him sad, if it makes him happy, and
just shut down.
Right. Not just shut down. Even when it comes to his emotions, and just to see him cry. Like I teach him, hey, it's okay to cry. But then, transparent moment. His dad would say, no, you need to toughen up. You need to be strong. And I'm like, how tough do a 7-year-old have to be?
Right.
How strong? Like who? Like is he going to go harass somebody at recess? Like I don't understand. Are we raising him to take lunch money? Like I'm just trying to figure it out here. Like what are we doing? Like of course you need to teach him to protect himself and not, be pushed over. But you're 7, so you're still learning. But hey, you need to toughen up. And it was a situation where my son was crying, like he hurt himself, and he looked at me. And mothers, you know that look. Now you know when they fall and they just, okay, get on up, baby, you okay. Versus that look in their eyes, or that cry, like okay.
That one hurt different.
Oh, that hurt different.
that one hurt.
But he looked at me and he was like, he needed me to come to his rescue, but he was afraid to be vulnerable in front of his dad, because he didn't want to look like or, disappoint his dad. And so I'm looking at him like, come on, baby, come on. Let me check on you. Let me make sure you're okay. And his dad was like, no, don't do that. You don't need to do that because, he need to toughen up. He need to know that just because something small happened, that doesn't mean he need to cry about it. And I checked him out and I hugged him, and I felt like in that moment I needed to stand up for my son because I've been teaching him how to express his emotions. And I told his dad, that's what's wrong with society. We tell our little black boys that they need to be strong and tough and suck it up, but then when they get older, what's wrong with you?
They have no emotional intelligence.
No emotional intelligence. And when I said that, it was a moment because his dad actually said, he picked my son up, he picked our son up, and he said, you know what? That's what's wrong with me. I don't know how to express myself, and I'm still working on that area. So, son, you know what? It's okay to cry. Some things will warrant you to cry it out, and certain things you will just have to get up and dust yourself off and try it again. But I just felt that release. Like my son felt so good in front of his dad, hearing his dad say, it's okay to cry.
Like, I feel like that truly needs to be normalized because I forgot where I heard it, but there was a male and he was just talking about it because as girls, like, we play with Barbie dolls. We play house and all that stuff when we're growing up. So we learn those things at a young age. So when we're older, like, those, it's just like, it's second nature. Like, you still learn, of course, on the way, but it's like we've already been doing those things and playing that way. Boys don't do things like that.
Right.
It's taught, no, if you pick up, like, it's forbidden, basically, for you to play with the doll or for you to cry. Like, get up, toughen it up, you straight, you all right. You know? And it's like, so when they get older, when you're in a marriage or in your relationship and now your wife or your family is requiring that of you, you don't know what to do. You can't comprehend your emotions. You just shut down because you don't know how to even express yourself in that way or even talk about your feelings, because even with your guys, you just go out there and y'all maybe play games or something like that. Like, you don't talk about your feelings like girls do. And it's like, that's something that is so necessary. And like, even just with like praying to God about this, like how to raise my man, because how to raise my man on how to raise my son, it's just like I need his assistance so much because I feel so often like I can't raise a man. I can't raise a black man on my own. And it's like, we're not doing this on our own. God has showed me so many times. And it's like, it has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with me. But having God show me, just like, we are all the same. Like, he has created us uniquely, but we all are the same. Like, just the same way that I need to be able to express myself, and when I'm feeling overwhelmed with my feelings, like children, guys, boys are the same way. Like, they need to be free to do that. And it's our jobs as mothers to be able to give them that safe space, give them that freedom to do that at a young age so they don't have to relearn it and have their brain rewired when they're older, thinking that, oh, I'm not a man if I cry, or it's not okay. Like, no, it's okay to cry. Like, yes, we're not out here crying over every single thing. Like, if you don't get what you want, you're not just gonna bust out and cry. If you don't get the food that, like, it's not simple things, but like, if it warrants it, like, it's okay to have those emotions. It's okay to say, I'm not happy about this. It's made me upset. Like, you need to do it respectfully. You need to make sure that you are being respectful, whoever you're speaking to, but making sure that you are aware of the emotions that you're dealing with is so important.
And then also having that safe space, because I think about my brother, and he said, like, I feel so comfortable speaking with you. He said, if I go to my friends who are guys with these type of conversations, they would be like, man, you tripping. Like,
get out of here with that.
Yeah, and they just want to keep it moving. But he's like, hey, I try to have these vulnerable conversations with my friends, but they're not there for it, So I feel like I have to go to my sister where I won't be judged or feel like I'm less than a man. So it's like, do guys even have that safe space in their own community?
That's a good question. I wonder what that looks like, even with like small groups, guys in small groups. Like, do they have those moments? Like, I know with Ezekiel, I know that he's been like doing some things like online with like they're actually talking about important things. But I wonder, like, just on an everyday basis in like small groups, like, are they allowing God into those spaces where you're able to talk about those things that's really going on, where you don't have to feel like you have to put on a front and you can only take it to God.
Right. But I'm grateful and gracious that God has chosen us to raise up our young black males to be, Christian men who will be able to express themselves and, intellectually, emotionally be vulnerable, be, well spoken and trained up in the way that they should go.
Glad he entrusted us, girl. I mean, it's not easy.
I promise you, it's not easy.
We're not gonna lie to you or put on the front, but it's definitely worth it. Like, just hearing some of the conversations that he has, or even when he talks to other people, or even when he talks to Marcus, like the conversations they have between each other, it's just like, who are you? I raised you.
I remember, like, I think it was something was going on with your son and his sister, and you was teaching, your daughter how to express herself to her brother, and hey, go up there and tell him how that made you feel. And
girl, we legit, like, she came down here, and it was in the middle of one of us recording a video or something, and she came down here and was like, she didn't like the way her brother did something. And I was like, well, did you tell him that? Did you express that made you feel that way? Instead of just coming to tell me about it. And she's like, no, I came to tell you. I was like, well, why don't you go up there and talk to him about that? And see, and Marcus and him were up there, and she went up there, and we were down here at the bottom of the stairs listening, like two little high schoolers, just like, how's this conversation about to unravel? Like, but like they expressed it, and they're just like, oh, I'm sorry, and then the kids just kept on, they moved on with life. But just teaching them to express yourself, like, it's so important. Like, yes, mommy is here, daddy is here, and it's okay for you to bring things to us, but you also have to be able to communicate that, whether you are a male or a female. Like, kids in general, you have to be able to communicate what's going on and talk. Don't be afraid of it. Like, in the moment, say it. You don't have to be disrespectful. Oh, you upset me. Like, let them know what's going on, because you can't resolve it if it's not known.
Absolutely. So we just want to get on here and just share. We have, my son is 7, your son is 11, and so we were just sitting here thinking, like, how difficult is it raising a young black male, or how, fearful is it, because it's not easy. You don't know, when your son get older, how society, how the world is going to treat them or lead them. But I know with us creating the foundation at home, they have a safe space to grow.
Right. And you just having to trust that what God is using you and putting through you to them is going to be okay. Because I know all the time, like, I pray all the time, it's just like, God, like, because I'm coming up on those teenage years, and it's just like I keep hearing that they it shifts, and it's just like trusting that whatever God has moved through me to him is going to sustain him. Like, that I am not him, he is not me. Like, our walks are different, but God has his hand on it. And just knowing that he's going to protect him, because this world doesn't always treat our black men the way they deserve to be treated. And it's like, we just have to know that God is he's amazing.
And his presence is everywhere. We can't do it all, and it's not fair for us to put that pressure on ourselves, like, I got to do this, or I need to do that, or, you know, like, it's a manual. Okay, I taught him about emotions. I taught about communications. It's just a daily.
I wish it was, though. Like,
I mean, I
need all the cheat codes.
Right. It's just it's a daily journey, and we learn from each other. We learn from, you know, other mothers. In our community, and, you know, and I feel like we should do some round table talks, guys. What do you feel about parenting
Absolutely.
and kids, and, you know, the things that your child may be dealing with, or the things that my son may be dealing with? And sometimes it's normally the same stuff.
Really is.
But we keep it hidden.
You feel like it's such a taboo topic, and then you start talking about it, and you're learning that other mothers are dealing with the same thing. And it's like, oh, so this is not just my child, huh? Okay, all right. So how did you handle that? And I feel like that's something that we need to normalize. And it's just like talking about the things that our children are going through, because it takes a village. It really does. It really does. And like, if ain't nobody else gonna protect that black man, we need to. Like, we have to be intentional, and not even just about like cops and hatred and things that are going on out there, but when we mean protecting them, also like setting them up for success, like letting them know that it's okay to be who they are. If that means that they need to express themselves in a different way, allowing them to be free and have that safe space to do that, and not feel like they have to hide a part of who they are and just toughen it out, because then it turns into anger, because they can't express themselves the way they need to. They can't vocalize that, and it's just like, okay, it's built up. It's just building up and building up, and it comes out in different ways.
It's just making me think about, you know, teaching them not to blend in either, because it's so easy. We try to, you know, sometimes you raise your boys to be, or daughters, you know, to act like this race, or dress like that race, or talk like that race, or, you know, and it's like, no, be who you are, be who God created you to be, and not try to blend in and be like somebody else.
Baby boy, you was born to stand out.
You a king.
But thank you so much for watching another one of our videos. Action.
Hey guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.